Good point.
Hey, good morning, everyone. Welcome to Fuel for Success. This is episode something or other, number 294. And
Section 24.
I just threw my man under the bus because I said something funny right when I went live, and so
Literally,
he had
like
to
the
react.
second he was going live, he threw something at me that I could have fallen out of my chair. It was so funny and so true, so relevant.
But hey, it's great to see everybody on the show this morning. This is the 294th episode, as you know, which is a bunch. That's a big number. And today is the 11th of June. And if you know anything about me, 11 is my favorite number. So I'm happy. I'm happy because I'm alive. I'm happy because here with my friend and co-host Matt Maddox. We get to chill. We get to hang out. We get to talk a little business, maybe some technology. I may ask Matt about his first high school dance. We just never really know. I was going to get some strobe lights in here today. I didn't have an opportunity to do it just yet. But good morning and welcome everyone. Welcome to the show, Matt. Good to see you again this morning.
First high school dance was with a girl named Summer. It was my freshman year. And I was so nervous. My hands were sweaty. I mean, you know, when your hands get sweaty on the dance, that's when you know it's bad. It was a good dance, Mike. It was good. I mean, I'm proud that I had the nerve to go ask because she was probably at that time a little out of my league. And Summer, if you're watching, you know, that was then. This is now. No, I'm just joking. But no, she was awesome and great time. Good first dance. Forever remember it, Mike. You? Your first
Very
dance?
cool. Yeah, 8th grade, also nervous.
You
There
said
goes the
first
strobe light again.
strobe light. I'm like,
Yeah, well, I went to the high school dance when I was in 8th grade. What do you want from me? So,
was that
anyhow, you know, small town.
Carol was
No.
a senior?
No, you know what? Let's not talk about this. Anyways, so
Actually, the official Cougar. Pacey has lost Cougar status. It's actually Carol, right?
Carol's a couple years older than me.
Yeah.
And she's not on the show, thankfully. I don't know if she's going to watch the replay. I'll try to dissuade her. Maybe I'll send her garage sale. Like, no, you don't need to watch the show. It's nothing about it. It was terrible. You don't want to see it. Hey, today's Thursday. And frequently on Thursdays, we talk about business development, entrepreneurship. We're going to talk a little bit about technology this morning. We've got some questions. And Matt, you were asking the other day about Snapchat. So what questions do you have? And you know, Snapchat is an up and coming thing. Well, it's not really up and coming. It's already there. If you're not on Snapchat, you're sort of missing the social media boat. The new sort of wave or direction in social media and in apps and that sort of thing is one-to-one and one-to-many messaging. If you look at worldwide, WhatsApp is a huge phenomenon. Here in the U.S., of course, Snapchat's a great thing. And of course, in the past, Snapchat's gotten a bad rap because of, you know, sexting and that sort of thing. Obviously, I don't use it for that, and people use it for business. But what are maybe some questions?
I'm glad to hear you don't use Snapchat for that. Hey, Mike, thanks for the clarification, because, you know, we were all worried sick that that's what you were doing. So glad to know. Is this today? Is this the title of Mike's show? I don't use Snapchat for sexting.
Yeah, I think it will be.
Snapchat in my world. You can see see it. I got one missed snap. It's probably from you. But anyways, yeah. My question is this, Mike. I got 3 questions about Snapchat. One is, give someone the best advice that just getting started with Snapchat.
You know what's great about technology is you can learn a lot from like teenagers and younger people. And over here on my whiteboard, my son actually wrote me a note to correct me. A little coaching from my 20-year-old son on Snapchat. He said, never mass snap and direct snap. So on Snapchat, originally you were able to just basically take a picture or a short video and send it to, you know, 1 or 2 people or whatever, whoever you were sending it to. You'd pick the people on your list and send it. It's a very manual process. Then after that, they added what's called a story, which is sort of like posting to your wall on Facebook would be a good analogy.
Not now, in a minute, because I want to cut you off, but I do want to go back to how to do the story. But anyways, go ahead.
Yep. And so you can actually post, it's technically possible to post both to your story and directly like to someone. If you post to your story, it won't notify your friends that you've posted a snap. They'll literally have to go and look and hold on the story to see it. But you don't want to do both. I break that rule a little bit once in a while, but generally you'll either want to send a snap to, like sometimes you'll do one-to-one messaging. I'll send Matt a snap, just give him a quick message. He'll snap one back to me, whatever. But sometimes I'll just be like, here's my life, and I'm going to take a quick snap. I'm going to post it to my story. Does that make sense? So that's probably the first piece of advice that I would give to people. The other piece of advice I would say is don't overcomplicate it. It really is as simple as you think it is. What do you got?
That's what the snap screen looks like. Oh.
Okay. It's hard to see.
Yeah, it is hard to see. Anyways, go ahead. I'm listening. Don't overcomplicate is what you're saying. Keep it simple. Basically, you take a picture or a video, and then you can click this arrow, right? And I just took a picture of my mouse.
Exactly.
And then you pick who you want to. I'm not going to show my list because, I don't want you guys to see who I recently snapped. That's privacy. My God. Anyways.
Right. Well, and the other thing that in any social media platform, whether it's Facebook or it's Twitter, or it's Snapchat, or it's WhatsApp, or LinkedIn, or, what else do I have here on my homepage? On Vine, Instagram, right? Each one of them has its own little flavor for how it does media. And so you want to really respect that flavor of that platform. And Snapchat, traditionally, if you take a picture, you can also add text that overlays over the top of it, and you can draw on it. And that's sort of the thing that's sort of the shtick that sets Snapchat aside. So a lot of times people will do that. I mean, for a quick snap, if I want to get a message to somebody, I won't necessarily do that. But most of the time, you're going to want to put some quirky, and like Twitter, for example, is very like sarcastic and quirky. Snapchat is similar to that, and you're going to want to add graphics and overlays and stuff to your Snapchat. What were you going to ask me about the story?
If I send a video and I send it to my whole Snapchat list, do they all know who I'm?
No. So, for example, let's say I take a Snapchat right now, and I'm just going to snap a picture of my screen, and then I go to my list of friends, and let's say I pick out Tommy Parmenter, who's a good friend of mine, my brother Pat, and Matt, and I send it to all three of them, which I just did, and they're all like thinking, why did you just send me that other than Matt? But so Tommy won't know who else I sent it to. He just sees that I sent it to him. He has no idea. He doesn't know.
Thank you, Jesus. What a relief. That's actually.
And of course, when they get it, they'll be able to see it for however long. When you take a picture, there's a little timer down in the bottom right corner that shows how long that picture is going to show up on the other person's phone before it's deleted. Of course, the whole thing about Snapchat is the picture disappears. It sort of does, it sort of doesn't.
If someone sends you a video, make sure your volume is on your phone or you won't be able to hear what they're saying. How many times have we missed messages to each other because our phones were on silent?
My number one frustration on Snapchat is you get one replay a day, right? And so if you got an iPhone and your little switch on the side is set to silent, which mine almost always is, and I forget to switch it off of silent before I play the snap, then I miss what the person says, and that can be frustrating.
Snapchat is Mike will send me the most random. We'll send each other the most random things. Like Mike sent me a picture of the ladies' restroom in the church he was speaking at last night. Mike, why did you? Let's talk about it from a social media standpoint.
Actually, I walked in, and so here's one of the things that and I think we probably talked about this back on an episode of the Soul Winner Show when we were doing that, and you said that if you have one of the things that when you're striving for excellence, and I truly believe this in a church or really in a business, church, whatever, when you walk into a restaurant, you want the restroom to be clean. When you walk into a church, the restroom should be clean. Do you know what I'm saying? And so if you're, in charge of a church, if you're in charge of a restaurant, if you're in charge of a business, make sure the restroom is clean. People care. And I was at a very new church, recently renovated last night to speak, and they were sort of giving me the tour. And when they showed me the ladies' room, I mean, I'm like, wow! I feel like I walked into a restroom at like a Macy's or something. You know what I'm saying? Very high class. And immediately I thought of Matt, so I took a picture and sent it to him. Yeah. That's why.
So when I got a picture of the ladies' restroom at the church, I was like, "Yo, talk to me. What's going on, my friend?"
He's like, "What are you doing in the ladies' room?" I'm like, "Hey, it's okay. They're giving me a tour because it's a new building. Settle down."
So on this deal that says my story up top, I don't know if you can see it. It doesn't show because it's too bright.
Yeah.
Okay, so when I do a story, let's say I do like a video, how do you actually put it on your story? That's what's confusing. And
okay,
your story can be up to like a minute long, right?
Well, a story is actually the sequence of all of the things that you post there. So the Snapchat is really sort of two things. It's a one-to-one messaging platform where you can create a picture or video and send it to one or more people. And then it's also an actual sort of social platform, much like Twitter, much like Facebook, where you can post things to your story. And think of your story sort of like your timeline or like your page, your wall, whatever. And so you can post 20 videos in a row up to your story, and if somebody goes to your story, they can watch those in sequence, right, and follow them along one after the other. So that allows you to sort of, it's the story of your life, right? As you're going along, say you're going along throughout your day, and if you're a Snapchat addict like some of my friends, you may post to your story 15 times during the day. And so at the end of the day, I can go to my brother Brian's story and watch it and see how his day went. Like this happened, and that happened, and this happened. And to answer your question then about how you do it, so if I take a picture and I go to, you hit the little right arrow to go to your list of friends, right up at the top, your story is actually just listed as one of your contacts. And you just select my story and it sends it to your story.
Oh, hey Mike, that's actually cool. The thing I want to say to people real quick about Snapchat is that one of the number one benefits of it for me is the short video, how quick you can relay a message. Like I relayed a message to Mike this morning on Snapchat, and it's just a quick little, what's the video length, Mike? Is it like 8 seconds?
10 seconds.
Something? Huh?
10 seconds.
Yeah, so you can get a quick message to your friend, Mike and I probably send 10 to 15 videos to each other a day through Snapchat. It might be like, hey, Mike, do me a favor, I need 25 juice books, whatever. Or he might say, hey, right, Matt, I need that PowerPoint, sent to my email as soon as possible. And it's just fast, and it goes right to my phone. I can watch it. Thing that people need to know, though, Mike, is when they let go to watch a video or look at someone's Snap, when they touch it, and let's say they say, oh, I'll just watch this later. Well, the time doesn't stop. You know what I mean?
As soon as you start it?
Yeah, as soon as you start it, you got to stay with it. I used to get in trouble with that because I'm like, oh, I'll watch that in a little bit. And then I'd go back to watch it and it'd be gone. So just a little tip there for Snapchat. Any questions about Snapchat, Mike? Is there anything else that you would want to throw out there?
Well, Mary had asked the question. Mary had asked this question, do you have to have the other person added to your Snapchat for you two to share? Yes, you do. So it's not public like Twitter. It's more from a security standpoint or like a connection standpoint. It's more like Facebook, analogous wise, so that you have to add someone as your friend. They have to also add you as a friend so that you can communicate. You can't see somebody's story that you're not added to. There's a bunch of other stuff that's added to Snapchat. They've added some some marketing things to it or whatever. But I'm not really going to go into that today. It's not terribly relevant. Mary asked a great question. She said, how do you use it to build your business? And that's a great question. And we're really in the stages of learning that right now. Excuse me. There's no ad platform on it yet. There's no way to reach a larger audience than who you add. And really it's for connecting and building community today. And there's no real opportunity to automate. But remember that the influencers that are associated with your business, you want to develop a relationship, build that connection, and today we're in a day of transparency in an age where people expect even business leaders and business owners and businesses, brands themselves, to be very personable, very human. And so the more that we can do that, the better we can build our brand or our business. As far as like direct sales capability, we're still in the process of figuring that out. Snapchat's really new. And today's mobile technology world, things move so fast that, we can't really wait for someone else to figure it out before we learn the platform.
Mike, see on the Snap deal where it says Matt iPhone and then underneath it says Mattmatics 998? What does all that mean?
Yeah.
Like my actual username would be Mattmatics, right? Not Matt iPhone.
Correct.
Is that just the name of
Right.
like?
That's just whatever you put in as your name. So that's like the display name. The username is the small one down there. That's Mattmatics. The 998 is how many snaps you've sent. You're way behind me. And incidentally, when you put that little ghost up, if you're talking to one of your friends and they've got Snapchat and you want to add them as a friend, you don't have to look up their username. They can just pull up that little ghost QR code, and then you just pull up your Snapchat just with the regular, like I'm going to take a picture screen, point it at their ghost, and just touch the ghost, and it'll add them as a friend. Instantly.
Damn, I bet y'all didn't know that, my friends. Yeah, absolutely. You could do, what's her name? Mary talked about, like, let's say all your network or your customers, let's say like I wanted to sell Just Juice It today for $5. Well, I could, take a picture of that, snap it to everybody and say, hey guys, selling Just Juice It today for $5. Now, obviously, in the world of social media, you don't want to do that all the time because you're going to turn people away. Because this is where a lot of brands and businesses make mistakes with social media, is that they're constantly asking for sales. That's not, I guess maybe on your own, business Facebook page, that might be okay. I wouldn't advise it, but it really is about connecting. Like 90% of what you do on social media should be about connecting, giving content, interacting, building community, having conversations. Mike, I think that's probably the number one thing that I see businesses fail in, is the lack of engagement with.
I think I lost you, Matt, or did you lose me? He's coming back.
Play day. Am I still here?
Yeah, you just came back. I lost you for about 15 seconds. I think you're right. And businesses, the big mistake they make.
I froze.
Are you unfroze now?
Sorry.
Yeah, lack of engagement is what you were talking about with businesses, and you're absolutely right. Hey, I like what Mary said. You're absolutely right, Mary. It's an opportunity to share some moments of our lives and show the person, because people today, consumers especially, they want to see personality behind the brand, and they want to see that that there's a human element to it, and we're really we're in an interesting time of development of business because of social networks, because of because there's 100 cameras in any room, you know what I'm saying, where there's people. And so we're in an age of unprecedented transparency when it comes to that.
Absolutely. Mike, I'd like to welcome a new person to Fuel for Success. Good to see Katie out here, man. I don't think this is her first time being live with us.
Yeah, and, I told her the other day, I'm like, hey, if you're there, like, log in so I know it's you.
Yeah. Katie's Mike's sister, awesome lady, first class. Glad to have you, Katie. Man, good to see Mike's, actual family on here.
Yeah.
So anyways,
cool.
So that, I don't know where I got cut off, Mike. I was talking about some mistakes that I saw businesses make with social media and the lack of engagement and constantly just pushing product and sales. My final statement is I'd like to see about 90% engagement, interaction, giving content, and like 10 to no more than 20%. Probably be safe with the 80-20 rule here. Probably no more than 20% ask, and like 80% give. If you follow all that Mike and I do, if you'll really follow us over a year, I can safely say that probably 80% with Fuel for Success, all of our web seminars, our engagement on Instagram or Facebook or Twitter or whatever, YouTube, the video blogs, I'd say it's over 80% give. It's over 80%, trying to interact or whatever. And Mike and I literally try. It's not always easy, obviously. It's not scalable, but we literally attempt to write everybody back. And Mike, I think a lot of businesses need to pay attention to that and really take that serious.
I agree. It's every opportunity to interact with a client or a potential client is an opportunity to build or break your business, and you need to pay attention. Every single person is important. Of course, that's one of our core precepts. Just real quick, I want to talk about. Bridget had asked a question as far as sending a quick video. Wouldn't Facebook Messenger be a better option? That would work as well. And, the reason we use Snapchat instead of even because, you can text message a video, but things move so fast and so quickly. Convenience is huge. And we're talking about the difference between texting a video and snapping a video is about 3 taps on my phone. But that 3 taps makes the Snapchat that much more appealing. I don't know how else to put it. And it's not.
The video feature for Snapchat is 95% why I love it so much. Because it's so easy and so quick. So you were saying to Bridget, Mike, just to clarify, that you still like the Snapchat video feature better than Facebook's being able to send a video message or audio message or whatever.
It depends on the context. I mean, I'll use whatever. Especially as a business and as a brand, to confine yourself to one set of technology is a very bad idea, right? To say, oh, well, we only communicate with our customers on channel A. Well, your customers are on 26 channels, right? You need to reach out to them and touch them on all 26 channels. And I think that's, the only, so if we have somebody that Facebook messages us, hey, guess what? We're going to talk to them on Facebook Messenger. I don't know how else to put it.
It's actually really good.
But
go ahead.
But you develop it with every connection, with every relationship you develop out of those 26 channels. I don't know that Matt and I have ever Facebook messaged each other, even though it's there and we're connected on Facebook. It's a little harder for me, to go to Facebook Messenger. It's 3 or 4 more taps. I'm not there all the time. I'm in my Snapchat all the time, so it's very quick for me to send a video. And so that just makes it convenient, makes it easy. The barrier to entry, the friction is low, so it's easy to do.
Well, and the power of that is this. You see, talking about time management, being efficient, being productive. I mean, you're talking about a 10-second video, me to Mike in 10 seconds. You're talking 20 seconds total, right? To deliver something that, so if I picked up, could I call him? Sure. Could I text him? Sure. But you're talking about in a day and age, especially if you're in business and you're an entrepreneur, when I say minutes matter, I'm not kidding. Minutes are money. You have to think that way in business. You have to constantly think. This morning, I had a meeting at Starbucks. I got an ice cream tea unsweet, and there was no line, okay? So I said, hey, let me do this. Let me get my refill now. Because, it's 54 cents. If you have a gold card, another app, then it's free. I said, let me pay for my refill now in case the line is bigger. You got to learn to think like that as a business person. Because, when it was time for my actual refill, the line was out the door, and all I had to do was go slide it up to the counter and say, hey, I already paid for this, and bam. Most people don't even think like that, but you have to start thinking like that. You have to start thinking on how to save minutes and how to, your time is your most important asset when you're an entrepreneur. And so, using things like Snapchat, when you're talking to maybe your business partner, I mean, if we had to have a major conversation, we're obviously not going to do it back and forth through Snapchat. Right. But like I said, if Mike needs me to add 3 slides to tonight's PowerPoint, rather than him calling me and it turning into Like if Mike and I, we talk every day, but we're careful because we're both so full of passion and ideas that like we know that like if a 5-minute conversation could turn into a 30-minute conversation. And we're bros, we're flat out bros. So it's like I'd rather just snap and be like, "Hey, Mike, I need this." Bam, same thing. Right. But anyways, you get the point. Point well taken.
Yeah. And it's asynchronous communication, right? It doesn't require both of us to be on point at the same time, just like text messaging. That's why text messaging is so popular. And a principle that we've probably brought out in the show 100 times, use the right medium for the communication, right? There's some things that you can text somebody, that you can snap somebody. Some things you got to talk on the phone. Sometimes you need to be face to face. It does make a difference. Mary's asking, I'll get to Katie's question in a second. Mary's asking, do we recommend video blogging? 294 episodes. We're pretty big into video.
I am so big into video blogging that if I don't do a video blog, if it's like bedtime and I'm doing my daily evaluation and I didn't do a video blog, I'm mad at myself. I feel I feel like I failed my business and brand and my community, So, Mary, I'm as big into video blogging. I think everybody that is in business should be doing video blogging, sharing content and ideas. I really do. I mean, I think that companies, Mike, are missing how much they could be engaging and interacting with their customers by not doing more video blogs, straight up. But anyways, Katie said, don't drive. Well, Katie, believe you me, I have taken a beating for my video blog driving issue. Let me say this about this, okay? 90% of the time, you notice 90% is my favorite word. 90% of the time when I'm video blogging, it's like out the street in my neighborhood that's like, you can't drive over 20 anyways. There's nobody around. And yeah, I mean, so rarely am I like video blogging in like 5 o'clock traffic, when you're bobbing and weaving, getting through, you know what I'm saying? Usually it's just in a zone where there's no cars, it's easy, it's quick. What are you talking, Instagram, 15-second video? I know it takes only just a second, I know. But I always want to say, look, the phone is this big, the windshield is like this big. I can see everything. But I don't text and drive. I really don't. I used to text and drive, but I stopped texting and driving. I really did. You guys would be proud of me. And I used to like read books while I was driving. I would set my iPhone on top of my steering wheel, pull up my book, and like read while I was driving. I would look down, read a little bit, look up, read. And I know that's bad. So I'm making improvements. Does that make you feel better, Katie?
And as long as you're trending upward, right? That's good. That's good. Plus, you know what? Hey, everybody just dial it down. He's a professional.
Thank you.
My man's a professional video blogger. He knows what he's doing. And I've ridden with him. He's a great driver. So there. Relax. Relax.
Thank you, Mike. Mike, thank you. You actually made my day. I should send you a Starbucks gift card. I should buy your next cup of coffee.
Very good.
Or famous Dave's gift card.
Yes. I actually told Katie the same thing. As long as you're trending upward, that may have had something to do with her Diet Coke habit. I'm not sure. Anyway.
Let's go ahead and talk about that right now, since it's our show. No, actually.
Just going to flat call out my sister on air.
She's never going to come back on our show again. Anyways, what I'm saying to you, Mike, is Katie did ask a question, and I think we should acknowledge it. She said, what about using Dropbox and versus, what is it? Where did it go?
Box.
Oh, Boxer?
Versus Box. No, Box.
Boxer.
They're both file sharing, file collaboration tools. They're used a lot in a lot of businesses use them. Some of our local radio stations use them actually to probably across the country. They use Dropbox to store all of their music files, and I'm not really sure, from a comparison standpoint. From my perspective, there aren't any huge advantages one way or the other between the two, and I think there's some differences in their price points and their value propositions, and I think it just depends on what your use case is. And I know that's a lot of buzzwords, and I really didn't answer the question, But
I
that's all I got.
hate Dropbox.
Why?
Myself.
Tell me why. I use it
hate
all the
it for
time.
many reasons. One, because it's full, and I haven't figured out why it's full. I'm like, why is this thing full? Maybe I just don't know how to use it. I don't know, but I don't like it. I'd rather use HipChat, my friend. To send anything I need to send Mike, I HipChat it over. It's quick. It's quicker than email. But that's a whole nother conversation. I do want to say this real quick because you said something that made me think about it, but Voxer. Here's what would make my life easier. If every one of my friends and family had iMessage, had Voxer, and had Snapchat. Voxer is similar to it's like a walkie-talkie. It's similar to like Snapchat where you can send fast messages.
In audio, yeah.
Thank you. You can send fast messages, audio messages. Same thing where if I'm driving, right? I can't drive in text, but I can drive in Vox. I can send a quick voice message. And again, some people say, why don't you just call? You don't realize. Yeah, I'm for calls, but you could take, in like a 10-minute drive, I can take care of like 10 details through a Voxer, 10 different people. That one call would take that whole 10 minutes. You get it? So that's why I think we should be using this. Go ahead, Mike.
And one's synchronous and one is asynchronous, right? A phone call requires you both to be available on point at the same time. Text message, Snapchat, Voxer, they're asynchronous. So I can send a message to Matt. He can open it at his convenience, right? When he has a moment to deal with it. That allows him to schedule his time a little bit better. And as we've mentioned Gary Vaynerchuk on the show before, he's a great social media guru, I would call him. I don't know what else to call him. And in his some of his keynotes, he asks an audience like, and this is a shocker, especially to people that are in like my generation and older. He'll ask a crowd of people, mostly 35 and under, show of hands who literally gets ticked when their phone rings, and most of the people raise their hands. Most people today, younger people especially, they hate phone calls. They don't want you to call them.
It's almost like there's like this, like, why are you calling me? Why didn't you just text me? Yeah. But actually, Mike, you know what's funny is, I, believe it or not, in some instances do prefer phone calls. In some instances.
Right.
Like, most of the time, text, if you're relaying information. But if you're trying to explain something, I'd much rather just call, or shoot a Voxer, or a voice recording, or a video. Mike, you know what's amazing? There's so many ways to communicate. We shouldn't be having the communication breakdowns that we're having today.
It seems to get worse. Yeah. Mary's asking what HipChat is, and HipChat is actually, we use that internally. It's a chat client, much like if you had the what was the instant messenger on AIM chat on AOL. It's sort of like that on steroids. And you gonna let us in on the joke?
Oh no, I'm just feeling.
I'm just kidding. So we actually use HipChat internally. It's like a private, it's like a walled garden. So it's a private chat client that we use internally within MyHealth 90.
To communicate. MyHealth 90 to really. No, I'm just kidding. But you're right, Mike. Tell about it. HipChat's awesome.
Yeah, you can get HipChat for free and use it to help in an organization. There's also some premium plans. Of course, it's a freemium sort of an offering. Great tool, and it has extremely strong integration points. And so we use it as almost as a CIC, right? A Combat Information Center, where we've got different rooms where we've got information streaming in from our sales and marketing channels. We've got information streaming in from our production channels. Like every time a text message comes in or goes out through our systems, we see it. It shows up in various places in HipChat. So we use it as a console and also a communication platform.
You can respond from there, and it's you know what it's like? Right. It's like what do they call it? Instant messenger. It kind of has that feel, doesn't it? To where
right. It is an instant messenger, yeah.
I had to send Mike a PowerPoint this morning. Instead of emailing, I just dropped it in HipChat. Bam. So most of the stuff that we send each other nowadays, we just use HipChat because it sits as an icon right in your little bar on the Mac. But Mike, you know what's amazing is, like, we haven't even scratched the surface. We didn't talk about Instagram. We didn't talk about Twitter. We didn't talk about Facebook. There's
Right.
so much to cover. We didn't really talk about how people are not even coming close to utilizing Google and YouTube like they should. There's so much. I mean, there's so much to cover in the world of technology. And as you can tell, you should try to use as much technology as you can because it really will make your life better in many ways. Help you get more done, have more time. So I'm not for more done. I'm for more done so I can have more time for what matters. My son, my health, my passion. So look at it that way. Look at saving time as you're saving time so that you have more time for stuff that you really, really care about and you love. What do they say? Rich people have money, wealthy people have time. And at the end of the day, if you really do it right and you stay focused and you use technology, you should, in theory, have time to do what you want to do in life. You agree, Mike?
I agree, and especially in business, but also in personal life, I think you should look at any piece of technology and say, does this help me be more efficient in the overall goals that I want to achieve? If it does, then go ahead and use it. If it doesn't, you got to be careful because there's a fine line between wasting time and becoming more efficient. And I see a lot of people wasting time on social media, and I look at it as a tool to help me become more efficient at the things that I want to accomplish. There's no more powerful platform for connecting, building community, building relationships, those sort of things, and it brings a level of efficiency that doesn't exist outside of that platform. So,
good stuff, Mike. I mean, it's up to you. We got about 4 more minutes-ish or whatever. You want to call it a day? I mean, how we looking? Got any more questions that have come in? Anything else you want to cover?
One quick thing, because Mary had asked about video blogging and you mentioned YouTube. I will say this: if you are building a business, building a brand, YouTube is a great place to be because it still massively over-indexes on Google, and so you can get more traction from a SEO kind of a standpoint, from a search engine optimization with YouTube videos than you can in building a website and trying to get some SEO points there. It's a little bit lower barrier to entry. It's a little bit easier to get there. I will say that it is important for the video to be, reasonably high quality, and I don't mean that necessarily that your production quality has to be high, but your content quality has to be high.
Mike.
That's all I got.
No, that's good stuff. It really is good stuff. Here's what I'm doing real quick. I want to do something. Let's see if I can get my boy Jason on air real quick just to show you guys how unbelievable. Like, look at what we're doing right now. Mike, this is almost like you and I sitting in the same room. I mean, the only thing I can't do is just like slap you upside the head every once in a while. You know what I mean? That's it. Or like, like what? No hug goodbye, Mike?
Yeah, right. We can't high five.
Yeah, I want to, okay, look at this. This guy right here.
Hey.
Literally, as we speak, is in Australia. This is our buddy Jason, all the way from Australia. That's the power of technology. It's like Mike and Jason and I are sitting in a coffee shop right now hanging out. Dude, how you doing? What you got going on there? A little studio there, man?
Yeah, I've got the green screen happening. Funny you're talking about YouTube because I'm sort of learning how to do YouTube videos and how to rank them good. So maybe you see me ranking highly one day.
What did you learn? What are some tips?
Search optimization type stuff. Having your email, Google email match your product, what you're trying to do.
I love you, Jason. This is one of the coolest guys
I'll have
in
to update
the world.
you on that.
Dude, I could listen to people's Australia's accent all day.
It's a bit much to explain.
Jay, it's good seeing you, man. We've missed you, bro. Looks like he cut out for a minute, Mike. But anyways, yeah, he's right, Mike, and I'm sure you could give some tips on that as well about most people don't even. I know you've actually helped people go from like page 50 on Google up to like the, top page, top search, and you want to be. You know,
Right.
you want your name in business when they type it in. You want to be scoring high on the Google pages because let's be real, how many people even go to page 3 or 4 or 5 on Google nowadays? Hardly anybody. So you need to make it priority. And in business, to get to at least the first page of Google, and what you really want to do is get to number 1 if possible. And I know in some industries that's tough because a lot of people pay big money for that. Mike, maybe just a quick 30-second like tip on how businesses can better position themselves in the world of Google.
Well, understand, you know, there's a lot to, you know, keyword research and understanding the keywords that and a keyword is nothing more than a word that people use when they search on Google. And there's really obvious keywords, and then there's also sort of less obvious keywords. And a lot of times you can use the less obvious keywords to begin to gain some traction in a specific market, to get higher ranking with those keywords. And once you begin to gain higher ranking, you're going to get some more external page rank links that's going to help your overall SEO, that sort of thing. Google's made some algorithmic changes over the last few years to sort of eliminate gaming the system, and you really have to do it the right way today. And there's not really any shortcut. So what Jason talked about
the real way nowadays, you're saying. In other words, there's no paying to the top now.
Right. It's you can still buy like some page rank backlinks and things like that, but depending on the source, you know, you could actually get demerited by Google. I don't know what the right word is for that, but they may bump your rank down because you're trying to game the system. But like, and there's some very simple, basic things like Jason began to talk about. He said like he was talking about your Google email account, really your domain name and the email and like the YouTube channel. I mean, if those are like the most important place that you want to have your keywords that you want to rank for. They need to be in there, right? If I'm building you know, a business to sell coffee cups, right? You know, you don't want your website to be, you know, flashbang.com because nobody's going to have any idea, right? It's like it has to be something about coffee cups, right? And your YouTube channel should be we sell coffee cups or whatever it is. You want to have those keywords in the domain name, your email address, your YouTube channel, so that's like the top place, the number 1 place.
Very good. Mike, this is some good stuff. Very helpful for business leaders and entrepreneurs out there. I know we're way past our time, but there was something actually really important I was going to say, but it'll come back to me. But, you know, here's the deal, guys. Don't forget about our seminar tonight. Mike and I are going in. We've got so much content on the basics of juicing tonight, literally answering the top 10 questions that come in about juicing, such as what are the best recipes for kids, what's the difference between juicing and blending, what should you juice if you're diabetic. I mean, we're going in tonight. I'm going to give you my top 10 favorite juice recipes, just kind of go over some do's and don'ts, some practical stuff about juicing. It's real easy. It's free. It's at 9 o'clock tonight, Eastern Standard Time. Hashtags are huge, Jason, especially in the Instagram world. We'll talk about that later as well, and Facebook, really. But Mike's, there's the link right there. And check it out. Click that link. And if you want a little text reminder, just put in your cell phone number, and we will send you a text reminder tonight so you don't forget it or miss it. And there it is, Katie. I think she wants. Hey, can you guys do me a favor? Can you guys all share this on your Facebook and say, hey, if you're interested in juicing, these guys are doing a free live seminar tonight at 9 o'clock. Please do that for us if you don't mind. And other than that, man, it's really been a great show today, Mike. I've learned a lot. I enjoyed it. And it's nice to have your best friend that's an expert.
It's good. So you got 26 seconds left. Can you wrap up the show quick?
Well, I'm going to wrap it. I love the little timer there. Mike, that's huge. That's game-breaking for the future of Fuel for Success on our, last 6 episodes left. Let me just sum it up by this. Get on Snapchat, respect the platform, connect more than sell, and, get on every platform possible. Start video blogging. Bam, I'm out of time. It's good stuff. Hey, we love you guys. We'll see you all tomorrow. Mike, the timer is groundbreaking. Thanks a lot for ruining my mojo, sucker.
Hey, thanks everybody for joining us. Hope you have a great weekend.